Hello everyone. It is August of 2025, and so some of the stores are starting to get in clothing for fall. And my focus recently has been to try to look a little bit nicer on an everyday basis, and in particular by finding some dresses that I can wear in a casual and comfortable way. And so I am looking for dresses that are really well made and that are made out of natural fibers, and also that I can wear easily with comfortable shoes such as sneakers or Birkenstocks. And I am 61 years old, and I am 5'3", and I wear size petite extra large. And so I am looking for clothing that works with my body, but that also is a little bit more contemporary and more in line with what young people are wearing. And so over the summer, I put together a video of some of the clothing that I had been trying out. And I did think that that was super helpful to me in terms of getting a better sense by looking at myself on the video, in terms of how the different outfits that I was putting together were looking, and also in terms of getting input from people watching the video on what kinds of things they liked and which kinds of things they thought that I might want to skip. And it has been the case that since I have started dressing like this, I've actually been getting a lot of spontaneous compliments from people, and particularly from people that are younger, like maybe under 25. And so I am kind of happy about that. And so I thought that I would try on a few more things as we move into fall, and to see what kinds of looks I could put together that would be appropriate for the fall months. And I thought that I would give you just a little bit of a summary of some of the things that I took away from the experience of posting the last video and thinking about these issues some more. I do really, really like this trend of wearing sneakers with dresses, and I am hoping that that will not go out of fashion by next year or into the future, because I do feel like that is a way for me to look a little bit more put together and have a little bit more fun without getting too dressed up, and also being really, really comfortable. And so I have been really, really happy about that, and I may continue to wear that trend even if it is not quite as fashionable next year, unless people really start laughing at me, I guess. And the other thing that I concluded was that even though some places like Vogue are suggesting that people wear really true athletic type sneakers with dresses, I think that I feel more comfortable with a sneaker that's a little bit more refined, and that I wouldn't wear to go on a hike with my dog, or that I wouldn't wear to actually do athletic activity, but that does have a sneaker type of a vibe to it. And so I'm really liking the Birkenstock bend low sneakers for that, but I think that there may be other sneakers that I might be able to find if I put a little bit of effort into it too. And I do feel that wearing socks, and especially white socks with my sneakers, was kind of key to making the look work. And I think that that is one of the things that the young people have been really attracted to, were those little socks. And I do know that there are some people that think that it is a good idea to wear sneakers with dresses, but that you wouldn't want to wear the socks with them. And that's kind of a millennial type trend that was created like 10 years ago. And I'm not sure that I really like that trend either, in terms of how it looks, and also in terms of it being comfortable on my feet and not having the sneakers be causing irritation or blisters or anything like that. And so I have heard some people suggest that women that are older might not want to be wearing little socks with sneakers like that, but I think that that has worked out really well for me, and that it has been really fun and really comfortable also. And I did become a big Bombas fan as a result of doing this video. That was definitely the best cotton sock that I was able to find. And so I did pick up another pair of these at my local Dick's store, but I think that I may order a number of more pairs from the Bombas website, even though they are kind of pricey. And so far, it does seem like most of the people that are wearing these little cotton socks are wearing them in white, but I am actually a little bit interested in wearing them in like pastels or other colors, or socks that have little stripes on them. And so I'm not sure how far this trend is going to go, but I may experiment a little bit more with that myself. And although I do hope that this sneakers with dresses trend goes into next year, I'm not sure how well it'll work for fall. And so that is one of the things that I wanted to do with this video, was to think about whether or not this is a look that I can continue to wear into fall with fall dresses, or if there are ways to modify it, or shoes that would serve kind of a similar purpose that would look more like fall rather than summer. And so now I thought that I'd talk just a little bit about my breasts, because someone brought them up in the comments section in the last video. And so I do have large breasts, and they are definitely not as high on my body as they were when I was younger. And I do always wear walk-hole bras, and I do feel confident that the bra that I am wearing is the right size, and I do always wear either lifting bras or minimizer bras from Walk-Hole. And I do feel like the bras are comfortable for me, and that they are holding my breasts up in the right way, and that I do have the straps adjusted in the right way. Now, I did read on the Walk-Hole site that they think that ideally your breasts should be halfway between your shoulders and your elbows, and if that is the case, then it definitely is true that my breasts are lower down on my body than would be recommended. And they suggest on the Walk-Hole website that if that is not the case, that you may want to switch to a different bra. But in my case, I already am wearing their lifting bras, and I do feel like they are lifting. They are just not lifting that much. Now, I did see on another YouTube channel, this is one from a over 40 woman named Marnie Goldberg, that the goal would be more to have the bottom of your breast be at your elbow or higher. And if that is the goal, then I do think that I am meeting that goal. But I certainly think that it would be nice if my breasts were higher, and I also think that it would be nice if I were thinner, but I don't know that either of those things is going to happen, and I certainly do not want to get any kind of surgery for that, and I also do not want to necessarily be in a bra that is padded or that is forcing my breast to stay in locked in position rather than to have some movement, or that it would be uncomfortable. And so I kind of feel like this is something that may just be something that happens as you get older, and that accepting that fact is something that I think is important, and that sort of not giving up on life or on being stylish or on thinking about how to look better regardless of what your body looks like. I think that that's kind of an important thing. And so my feeling about this is that when I get dressed, I would like for people to feel comfortable talking to me, and that I would like for them to feel like I feel comfortable with my body, and that they are looking at how cute the outfit is, rather than whether or not they think that my body is perfect, which it's sort of not going to be. And I kind of feel like when I have young women that come up to me because they want to meet my dog, and then we have a conversation and they say, "Oh, you look so cute." I think that's fine. I mean, it may be patronizing in some people's eyes, but I think that it's also a good role model to suggest that you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to be worrying about being perfect and what people are going to think of you, and that you just put yourself out there and hopefully other people feel good about it. And I think that if I can be that kind of a role model for young women, that is actually a really good thing. And so let's move into the fall dresses, and the first dress is another dress from Pact, and it was released just a couple of weeks ago, and this is called the Pact Coastal Gauze Poet Sleeve Dress, and it is priced at $128. And this is available in 7 shades, and I picked this up in one that is called Autumn Gingham, which was brown and black. And my feeling when I saw that is that I should probably pick it up right away, and that would probably be the kind of dress that would be popular this fall. And that does seem to have been the case, because now when I look at the Pact website and also the Nordstrom website, that dress in that color seems to be entirely gone. And so it would be nice if they were to get in a few more of those, because I think that it is going to be a kind of a hot color as we go into fall. But I do think that this has been an interesting dress, and that if I weren't able to get that color, that I would have picked up one of the other colors instead. And so this is available in the 7 shades, including the autumn gingham ones. So the other ones are gold gingham, which is a greenish yellow and cream, and Tuscan red, which is a rust color, and then black and a muted green type of a color, and a navy blue type of a color, and off-white. And I do really like a lot of these colors also, and I think I especially like that Tuscan red color. I often don't feel like I can wear red because it is too bright, but I do think that I might be able to wear that dress. And I also like the yellow gingham color, so I might think about buying one of those in addition to the dress that I already have, especially if this dress goes on sale in any of those shades in my size. And so a few things about this dress. This dress does have long sleeves, and it's elasticized at the sleeves. And the sleeves are definitely too long for my very short arms, and so I do feel like I'm going to have to go and take that to the tailor to have it addressed. And it looks like it has buttons all the way up and down, but it only buttons at the top couple of buttons and the bottom couple of buttons. And it is organic cotton, and the buttons are plant-based Corroso buttons, and it is supposed to hit at mid-calf. And for me, because I am short, it does hit considerably lower than that. It hits down by the ankles, and I think that's probably okay, but it might be a little bit better if it were a little shorter. And so the length is 48 inches, and the sleeve length is 27.5 and a size medium. And this comes in size extra small to 2XL. And the size that I picked up is an extra large. And they say on their website that an extra large is size 14 to 16. But when I look at the measurements for that, it looks like it is a size 18 in what L.L. Bean would be saying, or that Madewell would be saying. So I don't know why the size is so strange, but extra large seems to be a good size for me in the Pact clothing. And one thing that I do kind of like about Pact is that they just ask you a couple questions. I think just your height and your weight and your bra size and your age, and then they estimate which size dress you should get or which size of their clothes you should get. And I do feel like that's been pretty accurate for me also. And this dress says machine wash cold, line dry, and do not dry clean. And so a couple comments on this dress. I do think it's kind of loose and unstructured, and so it does look a little bit better with the belt. But in general, I'm not sure if this loose and unstructured look is going to continue on into the future. I do think it's kind of in trend right now, this peasant style dress. And so maybe this is not a dress that I would be able to wear as long as I would like. My real goal is to be able to buy clothes and then wear them for a really, really long time without them looking like they are not in style. And I think I would be able to get enough use out of this dress in the coming months and hopefully years. But I do think it's a little bit more loose and not necessarily as flattering to my body as some styles of dress, but I do find it to be appealing in terms of the casual vibe that it's giving. And I do like the way that this neckline is looking. I think that I don't mind showing my neck and the top part of my chest, but I think that maybe as we get into winter, that might be a little bit more uncovered than I would prefer. And I started out in the video footage by wearing this with bare legs, but I feel like this is a dress that looks so much like fall that looks a little bit strange to have my legs be bare. And so I think that this dress will work a lot better with socks or with tights. And so in terms of what I'm showing it with, I started out by putting on a belt that is a favorite of mine, and this is the Coach Harness Buckle Reversible Belt, and it is 38 millimeters, and it was originally priced at $198, but I picked it up on the Coach outlet site for $79, and it's pebbled leather, and it is reversible, and so it has brown on one side and black on the other, and that is particularly appropriate for for this dress because I can wear it on either side with this dress, and I think that it looks really nice. And then the shoes are the Birkenstock Tracy, and that is like a ballet flat, except it has a strap across the top like a Mary Jane. And so those are $140 on the Birkenstock website, and it says footbed made in Germany. I bought these maybe 5 years ago or so, and they went out of stock on the website, but they brought them back this year. I think that this kind of ballet flat is really in style this year, and I do think it's looking nice. And those shoes seem to be designed to be worn maybe with tights, because when I buy my usual size of 38, if I try to put on a sock that's anything other than a tight with those shoes, then it definitely is too tight. And then I also thought that I would just try on a pair of Birkenstock boots that I have, and these I think have been discontinued, and they're just in a dark brown. And these are definitely a little bit casual and a little bit funky looking, but I kind of feel like I can get away with those with this dress too. And I kind of feel like I could get away with a lot of different kinds of boots or footwear with a dress that is this casual. And I kind of feel like those shoes are giving the same kind of vibe as the sneakers. Like, I'm not even really trying to be dressed up. I am just trying to be a little bit stylish, but also very casual and comfortable. And then apparently cowboy boots are really, really in style now. And I had a couple of pairs of cowboy boots from Frye that I picked up when I was living in Taos for a while. And so I actually picked those up back in 2013, and both of the pairs that I have are kind of beat up, but I did pull them out, and I realized that I actually really, really like those boots. And so the first ones are just brown cowboy boots, and I think that those look quite nice with this dress, in my opinion. And what I really feel like is that they are so comfortable, and I'm surprised that they actually were really comfortable. And they're actually kind of comfortable from the moment that I got them. And so I wonder if Frye shoes are still good, and if they are still making them in the same way. That was 12 years ago, I guess, that I bought these. If I thought that they were still as good as they used to be, I might even be tempted to buy another pair, since they are kind of in style this year. And then the other pair of Frye boots that I have are red, and they're like an off red and a little bit leaning orange, but they are kind of not real bright, but I still feel like they are kind of fun and kind of attractive. And they're actually the color of boots and the brand of boots that were in both the original Footloose movie and the new Footloose movie, and I didn't find that out until after I bought them, but I thought that that was kind of a cool thing, that I managed to be attracted to those boots without even knowing that about that movie. And so there's really no red in this dress, but I feel like these boots look fine with the dress even so, and that they are just kind of add a little bit more interest value in my opinion, and that as we go into fall, they're kind of just a fun color to wear. And this particular style of boot, I don't see it on sale. And in this case, I think that those boots are really nice because they're not real high. But I did find a couple of other Frye boots that are in that red color, and so I will link those in the description box. And then I thought that I would try on this little purse that I purchased during the Nordstrom sale, and this is a Coach purse, and it was a little bit on the expensive side, and so I am trying to decide if I want to keep it. And so this was $229 on the Nordstrom sale, and the regular price is a little bit more than $300. And the reason that I like it is because I feel like it is a fairly small bag, but that it should be roomy enough to be comfortable, and that I could wear it as a crossbody bag, and that it seems to be kind of designed for that. And so I bought it in this wine color, which I think is a good dark fall color that I can wear with a lot of different things. And so there is a pocket in the back that I can put my phone in, although I feel like the phone really fits in there only with a little bit of difficulty, and that it might be a little bit bigger. And I don't have an especially big phone. I just have an iPhone, maybe it's an 11, and so it's kind of a standard size, and so I'm not sure why that pocket's not bigger. And then on the inside of this purse there are two compartments, and there is also a zippered pocket. And there are two straps, so there's one that's just a shoulder strap that is pretty short, and then there's the crossbody strap. So I am a real fan of Coach, and I really never buy any bags that are not from Coach. And I do kind of like this bag, but I usually only buy bags that I'm really, really in love with, and I'm not even necessarily inclined to buy things that I think are going to match all the clothes. I more just buy things that I really like. And so the Coach bag that I actually purchased very recently that I haven't even worn yet is this one. And this is called the 1964 bag, and it has these fringe on it, and I really, really like this one, and I think it's almost as roomy as the bag that I purchased in this wine color, but I think it's kind of fun, and 1964 is my birth year, and so that's a little plus, and I think that this is something that I will wear, but I'm wondering if I should save it for spring and summer, and then maybe wear the bag that's more dark during the fall and winter, because when I look at it with these clothes, I think it looks much nicer with the clothes than this bag I think would, which would just be a little too bright maybe. So I don't know if I'm really in love with this bag, but I think that it is a much better bag in terms of meeting my needs than the vast majority of the other bags that I've found. And I certainly think the quality is very nice. And I like the fact that it has this flat bottom so that when it sits on the ground that it doesn't roll over on its side. The thing I don't like about this is that it has this C on the front, and that is a little bit too ostentatious and sort of annoying to me. I think if it were just plain on the front and that it was just a sort of a saddlebag that was not drawing a lot of attention to itself, that would be better. And so I suspect that that bag will be widely available soon. Usually what happens with Nordstrom is that they get things early and they put them on that sale, and then after that then they go widespread. And I do think that especially when I wear it with this dress, and actually with all of the dresses that I've been trying out for this video, that it actually looks quite nice and that it adds to that fall type of a vibe. And it's certainly, functional and something that I can wear all the time. And it definitely was informative in this video when I tried on some of the bags that I have that are more like the ivory color. And I kind of like this tote bag that I have with these little snails on it. But that definitely does not go with this fall vibe. And so maybe that is something that I need to keep more in mind. And this little wallet type purse that has this Keith Haring heart on the front of it and glitter, that actually doesn't look too bad with these outfits in my opinion, because it is a darker color. It's kind of the kind of bag that a 10-year-old girl would wear, but that's kind of why I like it. And maybe I only need that bag. Maybe I don't even need anything any bigger. In general, I really don't want to have a whole lot of different bags. I really just want to have very few that I can really get use out of, because otherwise it just starts to feel like too much clutter. And then I have a Coach belt that is red, and it is a muted red, but I thought that it might go well with those boots and that I might be able to make it work with this dress, but I'm not sure that that's really a good idea. It's kind of drawing a lot of attention to itself. And then I tried on a few of the shoes that I tried on earlier, except that I do think that they look a lot different and in general a lot better now that I have these tights on. And then I have a pair of Birkenstock Londons, which is a shoe, casual shoe, very casual. And those are in the color Habana, which is a dark brown, and that is $170 on the Birkenstock website. And I tried on the Birkenstock Tracy again, and I do really like those shoes with this dress, so that may be kind of my go-to after I get those sleeves altered, if I do keep this. And one thing that I will say about this dress, I do like this pattern, this check pattern on the dress, and I think it looks very fall, and I think it looks very modern, and I kind of like these colors together. But one thing that I will say is that with that style of a dress, I feel like I really can't wear a scarf with it. And a lot of times I use a scarf as sort of a distraction technique. And so therefore that people are more looking at the scarf and less looking at my body. And with this dress, I feel like they're definitely looking at my body more. And so that's a small negative with regard to this. But I do think it is really cute and really kind of in style this year, which is why it sold so fast. And so that does make me a little bit inclined to keep it and to wear it as often as possible right now while it is kind of in style. And then the next dress that I picked up that I am thinking about whether or not I should go ahead and keep, this is from Madewell, and this is called the Madewell Evelyn Shirred Split Neck Floral Midi Dress. And it was $148 at regular price, but during the Nordstrom anniversary sale, this was marked down to $98. And now it is back in stock on the Nordstrom website at the full price. I haven't seen it yet on the Madewell site, but I suspect that we will see it there also. I haven't really seen too many fall clothes yet on the Madewell site. And on the Nordstrom site, this was only available in regular sizes, and so the regular sizes went from extra, extra small to extra, extra large, and so I did pick this one up in extra, extra large. But sometimes in dresses, Madewell has both petite sizes and or plus sizes, and so it's possible we may be seeing this dress in one of those sizes as well. And so they call this dress Chocolate Raisin, and it is kind of a burgundy color, and then it has some flowers on it that are muted purple and muted white. And the way that they describe it is by saying that add a bit of prairie style to your regular rotation of dresses with this puff sleeve midi featuring covered buttons and a wide smocked waistband that billows both the bodice and the midi length skirt. And so because this is just a regular dress rather than a petite dress, it is a bit on the long side for me. And I don't know if I should keep it this long or maybe have it hemmed. And in this case, fortunately, the sleeves are not designed to go all the way down to the wrist. And so for me, they are fitting okay, and I don't think that I should have to get them altered. And so that is definitely a big plus. Now, the one thing that does concern me about this dress is that it does have viscose or rayon in it, and so it's described as being 52% cotton and 48% viscose. And my experience is often that if an item has any rayon or viscose in it at all, that once I wash it, then that's kind of the end of it, and it never looks very good again. On the other hand, I have had such good luck in terms of the construction of all of the Madewell clothes that I have, and I have maybe a dozen items or so, that I do have some kind of optimism that even if I were to wash this, that which I'll have to do eventually, that it still might look okay. And the washing instructions, it does say machine wash and tumble dry. And so in this footage, I am wearing the black tights with the dress. And I started out by wearing actually my Birkenstock Arizona sandals with these, and partly just because they are basically the same color as the dress. They're this burgundy-ish purple color, and I don't think that looks too bad, actually. I don't usually wear Birkenstock Arizona shoes with any kind of socks, but in this case I think it almost works, and that for early fall it might be kind of cute. And then I tried them on with those Birkenstock London shoes, which are actual shoes but that are kind of really on the casual side, and I think that those don't look too bad too. They do look a little bit funky, but I don't think that's a bad thing. However, the next shoes that I tried on, I think that those are not really actually working. So these are some clogs that I have from Birkenstock, and they have shearling inside of them, and I usually just wear them without socks when I'm wearing jeans, and they look kind of so awkward with this dress that now I wonder if I should be wearing them at all or if I should convert them into being house slippers. I do think they would be fantastic house slippers. But I think that even though the color is sort of coordinating, so it's called faded purple, that it kind of draws way too much attention to my feet and makes my feet stand out way too much. And they look really large too. And so I definitely am not going to be wearing those with this outfit. And then I thought I would experiment with the white sock and sneaker trend to see if that would actually go with a fall dress like this. And so I have some Birkenstock sneakers, and these are in a canvas and a suede blue style. And then I put on some Bombas socks, and so the socks that I have, one of those is a white sock that's a little bit higher, and the other one is a very, very muted purple color, and that's a little bit shorter. And see, I don't think I mind that purple sock with it, and I'm not sure if this style in this exact way would go into fall, but I think I could probably get away with it. But the thing that I think I actually kind of might like a little bit more are these new sneaker boots that I bought from Birkenstock. So I bought these at a store for like $100, and they are available just in this color on the Birkenstock website. And so this again is the faded purple color, and these are supposed to be $175, and they are made out of suede. And on the Birkenstock website, they do show them with a white sock that is just a little bit taller than the boot, and worn with a skirt. I think it's a beige color type skirt. And so these boots are called the Birkenstock Bend Chelsea, and so they are basically the same shoe as the sneakers from Birkenstock, the Bend sneakers, but they are in a boot style. Now, I don't think that I would wear them with the black tights underneath them, and I wonder how they would look if I had bare legs, or maybe I should just be wearing them with taller socks. I'm not quite sure about that. I feel like on the Birkenstock website that they just showed them with socks and then bare legs above. And I did not buy those with the intention of wearing them with this dress. I just was really attracted to the color, but I feel like I can probably make them work with this dress, and I feel like that is sort of a duplication of the summer look with the sneakers, but in a more of a fall style maybe. And I almost like these boots enough that I'm a little tempted to buy them in another color, like maybe a cognac or a burgundy type color. I think that that could be something that I wear with a lot of things. And again, I do think that this bag from Coach, that when I wear these fall dresses, that is looking like it's actually coordinating with them really well. And so that does make me a little more inclined to keep that bag. And then I tried on my boots with the harness ring on them, and I think that that looks fine. It almost looks a little too stereotypical Western look. Maybe it's a little too conventional, but I think it looks perfectly fine to wear those boots with this dress, and these boots are so comfortable that I am inclined to wear them as much as I can, especially since they supposedly are stylish now. And these little Birkenstock boots that I really only wear with jeans, I think that they kind of don't look too bad with this dress also. They look a little bit funky, and I think that that is sort of the goal sometimes. And one thing that I do like about this dress is the smocking around the waist, so it's kind of elasticized, and so it clings to the waist, and so it gives the look of the waist being fitted and then the rest of the dress being more loose. I feel like a lot of times when I see dresses that are smocked, especially I guess on quince, that the entire top part of the dress is smocked, and I think that for me that would probably be a little bit much, but that having the top part of the dress be really loose and then just having the waist be smocked, I do like that look, and I still feel like I'm a little bit inclined to wear a belt with it, but I do think it makes it a lot more wearable even if I'm not wearing a belt. And now we have another dress that is from Madewell, and this one is in cotton gauze. And I think that of all the cotton gauze clothes that I have purchased and tried out now, and there's been from a number of different companies, the Madewell one did seem to be by far the best in terms of the construction and also in terms of how the cotton gauze felt to me. But this year they did not release any cotton gauze at all, so I was very disappointed. But I was happy to see this dress on the Nordstrom website. And so this one is a dress that is in plus sizes, and it was originally priced at $128, and on the Nordstrom Rack site it is priced at $49.97. And so I picked this up, and I do really like it. I bought it in the size 14W, which they say is equivalent to a size extra large or a size 18, and I do think that that is about right for me. And the sizes that they have available on the Nordstrom Rack website are 14W to 22W. And they describe this shade as Tundra, which is kind of a yellowish green, and that is what I'm wearing today. And so although this is a dress that I have been comfortably wearing during the summer, I think that it has some potential to move into fall because of the color and also because the sleeves are a little bit longer. And they say that the length is 49 inches in size 18W, and I think that that is actually a good length for me, so I was really happy about the length. And they say that you should machine wash and that you can tumble dry. Usually what I do is let it hang, and then I will throw it into the dryer with just like a wet washcloth to kind of just spruce it up a little bit. And I think that that has worked really well, and that this has been a very, very easy care dress in terms of the other Lightspun dresses that I have, and so I'm expecting that this one should wash really well too and not shrink. And I started out by wearing this dress with the Birkenstock ballet flats and black tights, and I do think that just doing that makes this dress look much more appropriate for fall than the way that I've been wearing it so far. And then I thought that I would try on a little scarf, and I think that this dress does have a pretty low neckline, and that makes it a little bit less like fall, but when I put on this little scarf with it, it's covering up a lot of that open skin, and so I think that makes it look a little bit nicer, and also would keep it from being just as drafty as we move into the fall. And the scarf that I'm trying on is from a YouTuber who has a fashion channel, and then she also has a business where she sells these little silk scarves, and I thought that this was really cute. And so the name of the YouTube channel and also of her website, it's called Unblah Yourself. And this is called the Edie scarf, and it's supposed to be like rose garden tones, and it was $39 for that scarf, and it is silk. And then the next scarf that I have is from Madewell, and this is a really thick silk that I find to be really appealing. I think that of the moderately or even relatively expensive scarves that I have found, that the quality of this silk is really, really impressive. And so this is called the Madewell Oversized Silk Bandana, and it was originally $68. And so this green color of the scarf, it has the same green colors in the dress, and then burgundy and pink and golden and yellow. And I think that this is sort of looking a tiny bit like fall, but I can still wear this during the summer. And that scarf clip is something that I thought that I should be able to find it in terms of modern items, but I wasn't able to find anything like that, and so I actually purchased it as like, maybe it's made during the 1950s, something like that. And I use that an awful lot when I wear scarves. And one thing I realized is that if I wear a scarf like that, I probably shouldn't wear that purse as a crossbody. But I think I could just not wear the scarf. I think the crossbody bag is kind of cute, even if it doesn't have a scarf on. And then I tried on those Birkenstock Arizona shoes in the burgundy type of a color just to see how they would look with the scarf, and I don't think it looks unacceptable anyway. And although this dress has an elasticized waist, I think it actually looks a little better if I add a belt. And this is another Coach belt, and this is actually a thin belt, and it's kind of a burgundy color. And then I thought that I would try on my Birkenstock sneakers in the butter yellow color, and I have worn these a lot this summer, and I have really enjoyed them. And I don't know if these would be good to wear into the fall, but I feel like with this scarf that they kind of coordinate with the scarf, and that they seem to lean just a tiny little bit green, and so therefore if I wear them with things that are green, I feel like they look kind of nice usually. And then I just have the white Bombas socks on with this. And I think for early fall that could be kind of cute. And then because I like that Madewell scarf so much, I picked up the same scarf in a different color. And so this is called Juniper. And it has some bright orange in it and gray-green and gold and blue and cream. And so right now, especially since the entire background of my video shooting area is all green, it looks really, really bright, I think. And I think that it coordinates kind of nicely with those blue sneakers, but it definitely looks like very, very bright. But I feel like when we get to the point where the trees are changing and we are moving into fall, that this will be much more pleasant and not seem so out of place. And so I am kind of looking forward to that, actually. It kind of makes me think Indian summer, except I'm not sure if we're supposed to say the word Indian summer or not. Do people that are Native Americans object to that? I wonder. And I don't feel like I have used scarves as like a belt very often, but I wonder if that might be a fun way to wear the scarf, particularly when we get to the fall months. I kind of do think, again, that if it were a day in the fall that was particularly warm, that wearing that little belt like that might be kind of cute. And then this is just a relatively inexpensive scarf that I picked up from J. Jill. And so I thought that I would just try it on with these blue sneakers, and I think it looks kind of cute with the green. And this definitely looks like something that I could wear now rather than having to wait until the trees change color. And so this is a dress that I was definitely planning to keep regardless, but I think it's been interesting to take a look and see if it might be appropriate for fall. And then next is a denim dress that I picked up, and I've actually never owned a denim dress before in my life, but I was finding the idea of wearing one kind of appealing because I think that they're a little bit in style this year, and also because of the idea that I'm just looking to wear more dresses. And so I looked at a number of places for denim dresses, and I didn't find anything that I was necessarily feeling that good about. And so I did hear that Ina Garten purchases her denim shirts from Talbots, and that was interesting to me because I feel like she is really, really picky, and that is pretty much what she wears every day. It's like her chef's uniform. And I think I kind of know the reason why she chose Talbots in particular, because she is about my height. She's 5'2", and she's a little bit on the plump side. And what I realized is that Talbots actually sells plus petite sizes, and that is really, really unusual. It's like usually if you get above an extra large or even above a medium, that it's very, very hard to find petite sizes, and then you have to start getting things altered. And so that did make me a little bit more interested in Talbots in terms of their clothes in general, because I feel like probably anything that I want I could probably buy from them because it would fit me. But I think that especially with denim, that if Ina Garten is a fan of that and it's meeting her standards, then it's probably pretty good because she does seem to be really picky, and she probably has enough money that she could get all the shirts custom made if she needed to do that. And so Talbots is a company that I've never purchased anything from before in my life. I think I've been into the store a few times, and I didn't really find anything that I felt appealing in the past. That was many years ago. And so to start out with, I picked up a denim dress, and then I also picked up a little denim shirt on sale, and so I'll talk about that as well. And so this is called the Talbots Denim Shirtdress, and it is in the merino wash, and it was priced at $179, which I thought was really, really expensive, but I was able to get this on a sale, and that it therefore turned out to be $134. So I'm not really that crazy about this concept of everything is priced really high and then it is on sale a lot. I find that to be a little bit irritating, but that seems to be how Talbots does business, and so I guess I will just go along with it. And so this is really just kind of a plain shirt dress, and they say that it has a corset-inspired waist, and I do think it's a little bit fitted at the waist, but nothing particularly dramatic. And so I do feel like I can easily wear a belt with this, but that it is pretty loose on my body if I'm not wearing a belt. And so this dress does kind of look shapeless when I just wear it on its own without a belt or anything. But I think that it looks an awful lot better if I put a belt on with it, and it does seem to be a dress that I can wear with a lot of different shoes and a lot of different belts and a lot of different scarves, and so it's kind of seems to me to be something that is more like a plain dress that I can accessorize, and that it has a lot of flexibility, and so that is actually kind of appealing. And I think that when I wear it with that thick belt from Coach, that is actually kind of nice, and all of that waist definition with this plain dress is kind of a good thing. And again, that Coach purse does look kind of nice with this dress, so even though I don't know that I'm in love with the purse itself, I think that it does complement a lot of different outfits pretty well. And I think that this would look better if I didn't have those black tights on under those socks. I think that that would kind of just look cute. And this is a Coach belt that is multicolored, and it kind of looks a little bit like the 1970s to me, and I feel like, especially with this dress, it kind of looks like the 1970s, and I don't mind that at all. I kind of like the way that that looks. And again, I think that it is too early in the year to wear that really bright scarf, but I think that when we move into fall that might be kind of cute with this dress. And this is another Madewell scarf that I have, and it has flowers, and it's kind of on the green side. And I do kind of feel like that I can wear this dress with an awfully lot of different scarves, and it just sort of serves as a background. And I find that to be kind of a relief to be able to have something that I could wear a lot and have it always look okay. And I tried this on with my Frye cowboy boots, and I think that's actually kind of a nice look for fall. And so I do think that I'm going to wear those cowboy boots with this dress and with some of these other dresses. And maybe look into buying another pair of Frye boots if I can find one that I like and that is at a good price. And I wouldn't say that when I added these Birkenstock London shoes to this dress that it's a particularly sophisticated look, but I sort of like it anyway. It's kind of dowdy enough that it kind of makes me feel kind of good about it, actually. And I think that these black ballet shoes and also these purple boots, that all of these things look okay with this dress, and that really this dress seems to be handling well anything that I throw at it, and that everything looks like it is fine. And so that makes me think that I am happy that I got this and that I should be able to get some good wear out of it without having to ponder a lot over what to wear and what not to wear. Now, the only thing about those purple boots is that they are suede, and so I am afraid that they are going to get destroyed by the water in the fall. And I did buy a can of waterproof spray, but when I looked at the ingredients for it, it kind of looked like there were an awful lot of toxic things in that. It didn't have any Teflon type ingredients in it, but it has an awful lot of stuff that I don't feel comfortable with. So I wonder if there's such a thing as a waterproof spray that is not doesn't have bad ingredients in it, or maybe I should just try not to wear these boots in the rain and not spray them. And I'm not sure if wearing those boots with those black tights is a good idea. I think it might be better to style them with the white socks, but I am not sure. And then this is another pair of Birkenstock sandals, and they are kind of like a woven type of a sandal. And I don't think that looks bad either. Really, I think that I can wear anything with this dress. And those sandals, oftentimes, they look very awkward with the things that I'm wearing. So it's a little bit of a surprise to have them look okay with this dress. And then I put on my red boots, and I put on a red belt, and the one that I had on before. And I feel like with this dress that the red belt and the red boots, it's more like a little bit of a statement, and that it looks fine. And so I think I could see myself wearing both of those pieces as well, and maybe especially with this scarf possibly. And again, I think that when the trees are that color red, then having the red on my waist and my feet is a lot more attractive than it is now. And this is supposed to hit below the knee, it says, and that is about where it hits for me. And it is 100% cotton, and the instructions are to machine wash cold, and then tumble dry low and warm iron if needed. So I did wash it right away in cold water, and then I hung it to dry and then put it in my dryer with the wet washcloth and all of my dryer balls to try to beat it up a little bit. And I think it feels slightly softer than when I got it, but I'm hoping that it will get softer over time because it still does feel a little bit stiff to me. But I think that that should get better over the additional washes. And so since I was buying that denim dress, I decided to buy another piece from Talbots of something that was on a good sale. And so what I bought was the Talbots denim short shirt. And this is in the Azure Sea Wash. And it was originally priced at $89.50. And I got it marked down to $34.99. And I got both the dress and this shirt in the Talbot size plus petite 1X. And again, this seems like it is a size 18, and that does seem like a pretty good size for me from Talbot's. And it does seem to be consistently fitting me and everything that I bought from them so far. And so the reason that I was interested in this denim shirt is because I feel like another little trend that I am seeing is people wearing either denim jackets or denim shirts with little dresses. And so I thought that that could be a way to make some of the dresses that I already have or that I might buy a little bit more casual, and that it is sort of in the same vein as the sneakers with dresses trend, and that it makes a lot of the clothes that I have just a little bit more approachable and things that I can really wear anywhere rather than having to save them for a special occasion. And so what they say about this particular shirt is that it are forever classic shirt, updated in a short, boxy silhouette for styling ease, made from vertically striated denim with extended shoulder seams and chest pockets, a closet must-have. So my feeling about this when I have seen other people style denim with dresses like this is that having a jacket that is not too long and that is more like hitting like at the hip area, sort of mid-hip, seems to work a lot better. And so therefore the fact that this was supposed to be a short shirt was appealing to me, and so I decided to give it a try. And this one does just have short sleeves, but that is okay, and I thought that especially for the early fall months that might be just a nice little piece to add over the top of some dresses that are more for summer. And so, for instance, in this video footage, I am trying this with the dress that I purchased last year from Madewell. And so this is a black floral dress, and it is in size 16, so it's actually a little bit smaller than I would prefer. And I got this really late in the season, and I feel like it fits me well enough. I didn't want to give up on it, but on the other hand, I do feel like it's a little bit tight, more tight than I would prefer in my hip area, and so that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And I feel like if I could lose just a little bit of weight, that it would be probably ideal. And that in the meantime, I do like it because it's fitting me well in the bust, and that's a little bit unusual for a dress that is a little bit too tight. Usually the buttons in the front do gape, but I feel like this dress fits me perfectly fine in the bust, and it actually fits me well in the hip area. I'm just a little bit self-conscious about things that are too form-fitting in that area. But I thought that maybe I could try out this dress with this shirt to see if that would make it a little bit more wearable for me. And so I started out by putting a belt on, and I think that the belt actually is helpful in terms of giving the dress a little bit more definition. And so I almost feel like I could wear the dress and feel okay about it if I just have the belt on and don't do anything else. But when I put the shirt on over this dress, I kind of like this because I feel like it is, first of all, making the dress more casual and making it into something that I could wear really anywhere and not feel like I'm looking overly dressed up. And I also feel like it is covering over my hip area a little bit and making it not seem as noticeable that the dress is sort of too clingy. And of course, in the past, people would have said that a denim shirt like this does not go with a dress like this at all, but I feel like we have moved into an era where that kind of a look is really popular, and that I am actually really liking it also. And I think it's a little bit natural to wear these ballet flats with this outfit. I think that that looks really not very ostentatious and kind of fits in with it in a kind of a muted and understated manner. And this is a blouse that I could wear buttoned up, so I was happy about that. It did fit me well, even if I button it up, but I feel like I'm mostly going to use this as a little overshirt for dresses or maybe just blouses or shirts. And I do feel like I have a lot of button-down shirts that in the past I have worn as like a little jacket, but a lot of those seem really long to me now, and I feel like those really long shirts worn out seem to be going out of style or pretty much out of style now, and so I'm wondering if that I might get a few of those altered so that they look more like this shirt and they're shorter, because I think that that is looking really stylish. I don't know how long it will be in style, but that is looking kind of fresh to me. And I do feel like with this, it's not so much leaning into fall that I could wear some of these more cream bags with it, but that still having bags that are more leaning into burgundy, I think look better with it. And I tried on a pair of Birkenstock Boston shoes that I think are in kind of an iron gray color just to see how they would look with that. I don't think that works very well, though. I think that they, again, look too clunky and that the gray color doesn't really coordinate well enough. And so I think that Boston style shoe is a little bit, maybe not as appropriate to wear with dresses. I think I may just keep wearing those with jeans. But who knows, next year I may think that those are really appealing. And I tried on these Frye boots, and even though the Frye boots are brown, and even though they are really beat up, I don't think that they look bad with this little outfit. And I used to think that if you were wearing black, that you needed to wear black boots or black shoes, and that seems not to be the case anymore. And black and brown seem to be more able to be freely mixed, and that is kind of freeing in my opinion. And then I actually was encouraged enough by these purchases of the Talbot denim that I decided to try another denim item from Talbot's, and this was a denim jacket, and I've actually never owned a denim jacket in my life before now either. So in the past, I really have never found one that did not have arms that were really too long, and I guess I could have gotten them tailored, but I never felt like I really wanted a jacket that was denim enough to go to that trouble. But this year, I feel like if I could get a denim jacket that was short enough and the right style and that was fitting me well, that could be something that would allow me to wear dresses again more easily. And so I was kind of more motivated to get one. And so the jacket that just appeared on the Talbot's website is called the Studio Chore jacket in the Brooklyn wash. And this is supposed to be $169, but I managed to get it at a discount, so I got it at 40% markdown plus 10% markdown because I bought it on my birthday, and so it turned out to be $91.26. So they definitely are training me to only buy things on sale and to think that I would have to be an idiot to buy things at full price. So as a marketer, I don't think that's necessarily the best strategy, but that does seem to be the loop that they are in. And so this jacket is 99% cotton and 1% spandex, and generally speaking, I do not want any spandex in my jeans, and I feel like when I put jeans on that have spandex in them, they are much less comfortable, and that I just feel like I have moved into not being able to sweat well and just having them not feel good to me. But I think that it matters a little bit less in a jacket. A jacket is not something I am keeping on all day, and I think that if it has a little bit of spandex in it, that it's not going to bother me. Now, why they would feel like they needed to put spandex in a jacket, I am not sure. I think that's a little bit weird, but I don't feel like this jacket is particularly bothering me, and I would not be wearing this on a day that I think it would be too hot. And so I actually just got this today, and so I just tried it on really quickly with this dress that I am wearing. And so you can see what you think of it. I'm just wearing sandals with it. It's not really styled for fall yet, but I think it's kind of cute. I kind of like the way that it looks. And I do feel like maybe this is a jacket that I can wear with a variety of different dresses, and I might wear it with other clothes too, but I feel like I'm mostly planning to wear this jacket with dresses to make dresses that I already have more wearable as we move into fall. And so I'm going to have to experiment with a lot of the different clothing that I have to see how this works with them. But so far so good. I kind of like it with this dress, I think. And I think that even more so than the dress that I purchased and the shirt that I purchased from Talbot's, I do really like the quality of this jacket. It does look like it is really well constructed and that it should hold up really well. And I feel good about wearing it. And it really doesn't even feel as stiff as the dress did. It feels just a little bit soft to me already. And unfortunately, the arms are really longer than I would prefer, but I do feel like I can just unbutton the wrists and just turn up the sleeves, and that looks okay just like that, and then the arms are not too long. And so thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of the video. And please let me know what you think of some of these outfits, if there are any that you liked, or if there are any items that you think that I should give up on and send back to the store. And I also would be interested in hearing what your favorite retailing stores are with regard to clothing. And so I am interested in trying out some new brands, and so I would be interested in which things have worked for you. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then I hope you will go ahead and do that. And if you like this video, then I hope you will hit like, because supposedly that helps the algorithm. And Coco and I do love you very much, and so thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. Ba-da-ba-da-da-bum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum.